And Greg Brown of the Pirates joins us, brought to you by Diamond Drug and Diamond Medical Supply in Indiana. Greg, good morning.
Good morning. We're getting ready. We're like 12-year-old kids tossing and turning in our beds with visions of fastballs and home runs dancing in our heads. Tomorrow is Christmas Day for us.
Oh, yeah. But there's still a little bit of uncertainty about the roster for tomorrow, isn't there?
A little bit. Lonnie Chisenhall was hit in the hand the other day. They still don't know the degree of the injury. I think they want to be absolutely certain there's nothing broken in there before they make a decision on the roster. That impacts others, of course, not the least of which is Chisenhall, but that keeps J.B. Shuck, the veteran, around. He flew with us to Cincinnati, and he's kind of waiting. They don't have to make the decision until noon tomorrow for the 25-man roster. I would think they would tell him sometime today when they find out for sure. Best case scenario, it's not broken, and heck, the really best scenario is he's back in the lineup tomorrow afternoon for opening day in right field. But even if he's not, if he starts the year on the active roster with the team, the Pirates do have a nice backup in Melky Cabrera, who homered yesterday. They could also put Pablo Reyes in there if need be. But I think my personal guess is that Melky Cabrera was playing a little bit of outfield late in spring anyway. In right field, and I wondered whether they weren't toying with the idea of having him start opening day against the Reds, because at Cincinnati ballpark, you don't need a lot of room to roam. He's not fast at all. He's 34 years old, talking about Melky, and this might be a kind of a nice fit for him to play right field for a couple games.
Yeah, and he's shown in spring training, and again yesterday showed again. He's still got some pop in the stick, doesn't he?
Well, he does. He's got the pop. He crushed that ball. It was an upper deck shot, and he can hit. He's been around long enough. He's a switch hitter. There are certain guys that when they get up there, they just know how to hit, to get barrel on the ball, find a hole, hit a ball the other way, line the ball down the line and right, whatever it might be. And, Clint Hurdle is an offensive-minded guy going back to his years as manager of the Colorado Rockies. He loves the offense. And I really think that in his heart of hearts, he wants to win opening day. He wants to win the series 2 out of 3 at least against Cincinnati before the home opener on Monday, April the 1st against the Cardinals. And I think he's intrigued by that bat of Melky Cabrera.
Greg Brown joins us here today from Cincinnati. The Pirates getting set to play the Reds tomorrow in the season opener. Greg, how many openers have you been there for the Pirates?
Well, as a broadcaster, it'll be 26. But as with the organization previously in the front office, I went through about 10 of them, and then in the minor leagues at the AAA Buffalo, I went through 5 of them. So it's been a bunch, but they never get old. There's always this anticipation, the excitement of getting baseball back after a long winter's rest. And it really, not only is it good for us to get back to work, but I think for the fans, it's an idea that when baseball returns, the winter is thawing and spring is right around the corner. And by the forecast, we're going to be, I think, really blessed tomorrow. I think I saw the latest forecast in Cincinnati is going to be like 60 tomorrow in sunshine. And I saw in Pittsburgh for the home opener on Monday, we're going to be perhaps in the upper 40s, maybe 50 and sunny. So,
yeah.
Again, that's encouraging news.
You think back about all those openers that you've been to, and you think of the highlights. The Neil Walker home run was one of the great highlights for me. Last year was a great highlight as well.
Colin Moran's Grand Slam, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I'd forgotten that when people ask me what my favorite opening day is. That might be one selfishly for me and for Pirate fans because Walker won it with a walk-off home run. I think it was in the 10th inning. I think it might have been 1-0. But and you know this when in broadcasting, there are certain things you say or do, and we all have this, I guess. We all have good days and bad days, good moments at work. That was the perfect moment for me as a broadcaster because Bob Walker and I were on the radio side.
Mm-hmm.
And as Walker was coming to the plate, we were reminiscing about the old days and what Bob Prince used to do with extra innings and used to wave the green weenie and the babushka power and all. And so for veteran Pirate fans who love thinking about the days of Bob Prince, the gunner, the great late Pirate broadcaster, and I kind of went into a Bob Prince impersonation. I said, let's get up there and just whack this thing out of here, there, Neil. And so the next pitch, he drives one to right field, and I just happened to say, "You can kiss it goodbye," which was Bob Prince's signature home run call. And that was just a perfect ending to opening day for everybody. It was just a nice wrap-up. And as you mentioned last year with Colin Moran, the new Pirate, hitting the grand slam against the Twins to help win the ball game. Opening days are always special. Even though there's 162 games on that schedule, opening day is the special one.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you the other day I wanted to talk a little bit about Steve, because Steve Blass is entering his final season as a Pirates broadcaster. And in recent seasons, he spent a lot more time at home, not taking as many road trips. Should we expect that we're going to see him a little bit more on the road this year?
Well, he actually has been given carte blanche by the powers that be that he could make any trip he wants. He doesn't even have to work. He can just go and enjoy a city for a last time if he wants. So, he's toying with the idea of at least going to Chicago once. I'm trying to convince him to go to Los Angeles, where he made his first major league start against the Dodgers. But that's a long trip, and I don't know if he'll do it, but I'm trying to convince him to do it. And he just might, on a whim, during the course of the summer, say, I want to get away, and maybe I even want to work a couple innings of a broadcast. So I hope so. I do know this, that starting on Monday, the home opener, and we're expecting, decent weather, which is, knock on wood, great. I think that we are all going to savor every moment in that broadcast booth with him, whether we're in the booth with him or we're listening to his broadcasts. We've got 81 of them left, and I'm going to enjoy every second.
Absolutely. Didn't he beat Drysdale in Los Angeles that first time out?
Exactly, yep. Great call. He beat Drysdale his first start as a major leaguer at Dodger Stadium, of all places, and against the great Don Drysdale.
Yeah, that's terrific stuff. Bucco baseball is here, finally, wrapping it up on the road, of course, with the Reds, and then you're home on Monday. And, Greg, when you do those opening ceremonies, you do such a great job down on the field. One of the most poignant moments for me is when they do the memorial for Buccos who have passed away in the off-season, people associated with the Pirates family. And of course, from around our area, we know a few fellows who've gone home, and boy, when Bob Friend's picture is there on the screen, that's going to be an emotional time for a lot of people, isn't it?
Well, it is, because he especially for veteran Pirate fans who've been around a long time, and remember when Bob Friend, the guy, the warrior who took the ball all the time, never went on the disabled list, and he pitched really great games for some really bad teams over the years when he was on that Pirate club. Of course, he then ended up pitching on that 1960 World Series team. But prior to that, and even for time after that, the Pirates weren't very good. And but Bob Friend always took that baseball, and most importantly, he was such a good human being. And it was just fun to get to know him and talk to him about those days. He loved being a Pirate, and it will be very, very emotional. It'll be emotional for Steve. Steve and Bob Friend was one of Steve's first roommates, and Steve likes to talk about the fact that when he made it to the major leagues, though he never went to college, he went to school with the couple of the best teachers in the game of baseball. Bob Friend and Bill Mazeroski were a couple of his roommates, and talk about an education. And he learned the game and how to be a professional from them. And so it will be very emotional when we read Bob Friend's name, for sure.
Absolutely. And, of course, we'll feel a little bit odd looking down the first base line and not seeing George Corey there, too. It's going to be...
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. Yeah. No question about it.
Yeah.
We'll miss George, but we'll be thinking about him.
Greg, we want to thank you and all of the Bucco broadcasters for joining us all through spring training. It's been a joy for us to reconnect with baseball, and we're just so looking forward to the next 162 games. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us all spring long. We can't wait. Let's play ball.
There you go. Have a great one today.
Thanks.
There's Greg Brown of the Pittsburgh Pirates.